All right, looks like we might be going live right now. I'm still waiting on this. You still uploading your computer?
Uploading? No,
Well,
I'm on the Wi-Fi now.
Getting on the Wi-Fi. There we are. What's up? What's up? All right, welcome in. Sorry we're running late, guys. Looks to be, what, 6:10? Is that right on time?
That's right on time.
6:10, right on time. Hold on, let me share this with a few people. The usual suspects. Sports. What's going on, Rachel?
Man, just been living the dream. I'm totally lying. I've been working my tail off, man. I'm so ready to have a day and a half off, I guess.
Are you ready
for Christmas happens?
Are you ready for Christmas?
I don't know if I'm ready for it, but I don't really have a choice. What about you?
Hell no, and especially after today.
Said hell no.
Oh,
you got
especially
all the presents? You done shopping?
No, because this year I don't have my children, so I have to wait until after Christmas. And then today on the way here, my truck broke down.
Wow.
So they might not be getting a Christmas.
Right. That is not the Christmas spirit, is it?
No, it was annoying, man. I just driving on the freeway and a bunch of lights all of a sudden came on. I think it's injectors, and who knows what is going to happen with that. But
Lord.
it is what it is, man. Look, welcome everybody into Sports with Balls. I'm Jeff Michael here with Rachel Von Orange. What's
what it do?
up? I'm digging the outfit today.
Thank you. Can they see it? I don't have the video screen, but yeah, I think this is Campbell, right?
Yeah, it's Earl Campbell.
Yeah, I had to make sure. Like, I have a ton of Oiler jerseys. Like, I don't know which one I'm wearing. Yeah, Campbell. And, not that I love the Oilers or anything. I do wish that if they would have stayed, that'd be a different story. But, when they leave you, you don't. But the uniform and the colors were so clean.
Yeah.
So clean.
The number 34 is synonymous in Houston, Texas. Obviously, Nolan Ryan, Akeem Olajuwon, Earl Campbell. Those are your big ones, obviously. And, every single body loves that. So, anyways, man, welcome in, everybody that's watching. Appreciate you. Sorry we are running a little late, but let's get this party started. And by party, I mean the COVID party.
Oh, yeah.
Man!
Yeah, COVID is out here in full force, man. It's making being a degenerate in betting very hard.
I'm glad that you were on the show today because my betting statistics have definitely taken a hit.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Are you doing like NBA? Are you sticking to NFL, or what are you doing?
I'm doing all of it.
Okay. Yeah.
I found a nice little site, so I'm doing I'm doing a couple of things, man, and man, these lines keep changing. You don't know who's going to do what. Even DraftKings, even daily fantasy stuff has just taken. It's just unreal. You don't know who to pick. Garrett Gilbert, come on, man, starting quarterback for the Redskins. It's been unbelievable lately with this COVID stuff, and it's almost like the NFL is like the ground zero for for the new COVID virus, which is very confusing to me because all these people are asymptomatic.
Yeah, it's weird, and I'm after how long have we been dealing with this now? Like 2 years?
I don't know, man.
At this point, I'm so jaded on even really talking about it that much because I feel like every time, no matter what, it becomes a political debate. But with that being said, man, it is canceling games across NHL, NBA, and now just today, what do we find out? Texas A&M?
Yeah, I just saw that.
They don't get to play in a bowl game.
That's what I was going to bring up next is Texas A&M. Unbelievable. They can't play their bowl game.
Yeah. Well, I think that technically they could, but they don't want to run out there on the field what they could run out there with, from what I understand.
Yeah.
So can you imagine Texas A&M losing to Wake Forest?
Yeah, that would be terrible.
It's not a good look.
And I think they wanted to replace him with Rutgers or somebody. I didn't know. I forgot to see who it was. But, and it's not like it was. This is completely different than it was before.
Yeah.
Like where people were really getting sick.
Right.
Where it was, some major stuff was going on or whatever. And, we don't do politics on this show, so we won't get political on it. But, now it's just a bunch of asymptomatic people that are pissed off.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And I know most of them are vaccinated too, and I don't know. It's weird. I am very surprised. I guess A&M has the privilege of having so much money that they, the money that they would get in the swag bags from this game doesn't mean that much to them. I guarantee you, if this had happened to Wake Forest, they would not be They would not be forfeiting. They'd throw somebody out there.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely.
Make money for their school, you know?
And this is coming from a major college being, Texas A&M. And it's just, it is so rampant around everything. Man, I want to say there's somewhere around 100 NFL players that have tested positive. I mean, maybe even more. If you saw today, the Jets have 15 players
15.
from the starters.
Man.
15 plus the head coach.
You know what? Play the backups if you're the Jets anyway. See what you got.
If you're
the whole team's had COVID the whole year, if you ask me.
That Nathan Small says, look at her all decked out in the Tennessee Oilers product. It is the Houston Oilers. It is the Tennessee Titans. That is for sure. I refuse for them to ever be called the Tennessee Oilers.
Man, when they wear those throwbacks though they started, like, ooh, it hurts a little bit.
It stings. And we were trying to buy the rights back,
Right.
and they told us to F off.
Yeah. Didn't they also kind of cancel the Roughnecks?
I think I would be a Texans fan or Oilers fan if they had the name and the jerseys back.
They should at least let the Texans have some type of throwback.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that would be so cool for the city, but whatever. The Rockets did it. I didn't like it when the Rockets did it.
It looked ugly.
That was terrible. But yeah.
Real ugly. But hey, welcome in Nathan, Kevin, Aaron, all y'all that are tuning in. Appreciate you. Obviously, we got a little bit of a new look today. Hopefully, we don't have any more issues. If we do have audio issues, video issues, let us know, man. But thanks for tuning in. We got a lot to talk about, and we got about 45 minutes to squeeze it all in. Touching on this COVID stuff that has just run crazy throughout NFL, NBA, NHL, you name it. It's just absolutely insane. Cole Beasley, unvaccinated, is taking his stance. He doesn't give a damn.
Yeah, no, he doesn't. He doesn't. It's kind of become a brand for him at this point. Like, you're in too deep. Even if you wanted to get out, you can't get out now. Like, this is your thing.
Yeah. That's his deal.
Yeah. This is your brand now.
Yeah, I mean, it's thanks. Kevin says audio sounds great. Video's clearer than ever. Appreciate you, Kevin. Look, man, I respect Cole Beasley and what he's trying to do. But I wonder if it will affect the Buffalo Bills, because it's not the Buffalo Bills' problem is they can't run the football, right? So they got to throw it, and you take Cole Beasley out of that. Well, now Josh Allen has less options.
Yeah,
so I mean,
absolutely.
we'll try to get into that later. I know you're trying to connect on the Wi-Fi here. It's a
I may end up using my cell phone after all.
maybe
it's all good. But no, they definitely need all hands on deck, because you're right. That is a team that cannot run the football, and even one of their running backs, they don't even use him in the run game with Singletary. He's more of a pass catcher anyway. So like, that team, I need Josh Allen to get back to being a running quarterback.
Yeah,
because they need that dynamic. And I think the last time I did the show with you, I'm live on the air. I took the over, I think, on Josh Allen rushing yards, which was like 44. And then we go home that night, and Mac Jones has to complete 2 passes to win the game. Yeah. They don't run the ball at all. I totally lost money on that game. Like, it's terrible. But
that was the Winter Bowl or whatever.
Yes.
It was freezing and windy, 14-mile-an-hour winds or something like that.
Exactly.
But man, we get away from Buffalo Bills get away from running the football, and we see what happens. We're going to get into the NFL a little bit especially about the standings and playoffs and what might happen. But we're sitting here talking about 15 Jets tested positive today for that COVID. And Rachel says, play the backups.
Yep. My whole Hawks team, has all got the Rona.
Yeah.
And I don't even think that the starters are going to get to play against the Knicks on Christmas Day. And I've been waiting for this rematch. You have no idea how annoying Knicks fans have been since the playoffs last season.
Yep.
And I bet on this game preseason.
Did you?
I literally did. Yeah, I took the Hawks +1. I'm like, oh, they're going to win. They're going to win this game solid. Like, the Knicks are trash. Like, now, I don't even know who's going to – but I don't think Trae Young is playing. I don't think Clint Capella's playing. A lot of key players. Man.
Well, you never know. And speaking of New York, like, I hope they don't start shutting stuff down and whatever, and we go into the whole situation again. But, Toronto today. See what happened to Toronto?
No.
Toronto Raptors were stuck on the plane taxiing, because they had gotten word that 5 of their players had tested positive.
And so that was like,
so they were leaving, and they were like, so they started taxiing. The plane had to taxi around and wait for their little backup players to come and get on the plane and take the other players off. Like, it's an absolute disaster right now. Well, not disaster, not yet, but it's heading that way.
Yeah.
As far as like COVID running through these teams, and the thing is, like I said before, it's nobody's getting sick, right?
Right.
These are all asymptomatic people, and it's like everybody's testing for the common cold, I guess. I don't know, and then because if you get the common cold, you have the same symptoms or whatever, antibody, like whatever that, doctor stuff is, but they've got to come up with something different.
Yeah, it's
They're ruining sports right now.
it cannot shut down another season. There's just too much money involved. There's I'm really starting to get scared that the NHL may, and I know we don't talk hockey on this, and I'm not even like a huge hockey fan, like go Caps, but other than that, I'm not live, eat, sleep, breathe hockey, but they are very, very precautionary in their league, and now I think you're not allowed to travel from Canada to the U.S. anymore for at least the near foreseeable future between teams. Who knows if we could see that happen with the Raptors and the rest of the teams in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
And then if this keeps pushing forward to baseball, oh my goodness.
golly.
Like I cannot. This has to end at some point. Please go
We're
away.
100. We're 100 days out from baseball. 100.
Yep.
And I would assume they'd have it online, on track by then. But you can only imagine because they're blaming Thanksgiving, like the Thanksgiving holidays, and on this. And now it's Christmas, so I can only
it's a month later.
imagine that it might get a lot worse pretty soon. But I mean, who knows? I hope they come up with different protocols. Now they've tried. NFL has changed stuff. The NBA is starting to change protocols. In fact, I think they did a little bit today, if I'm correct. The NBA changed a little bit of protocols. But
they did.
They've got to change it up where these people can start playing. Man, if they're asymptomatic, they should be able to play.
I believe that is something that I heard on the news today that the NBA is doing. Like if you're asymptomatic and vaccinated, they're going to lessen up the testing requirements on you, I guess. I don't know. It's crazy.
It's changing daily. I know that.
Yeah, everything's changing. There's new study out every day. Every 5 minutes, is something different. It's very hard to keep up with. I'm just ready for it to go away.
I just think this is something we'll have to deal with from now on. And then you've got Michigan ahead of their bowl game is going back to the college stuff that we're talking about. The whole team is getting the booster shot tomorrow.
Okay.
Like all together, they get a booster shot. I don't understand. The booster shot does not stop you from getting the virus. It just stops you from getting sick.
It's just a booster.
So you will still test positive.
Right.
So what?
No, man. No, I'm right there with you 1,000,000%. I've had so many questions, especially in private, about some things I feel like we're just doing for show at this point. I don't really understand the reasoning behind it. But
politics and money.
Yeah. We could, you and I, after this, man, we could go on. I'm right there with you, though.
Yeah, and again, we don't do politics on here. This is Sports with Balls, man. I've got my guest host, Rachel Von Orange, right here. Tell them where they can find you on social media because she is amazing. She gets kicked off all platforms on a regular basis, so she's a lot of fun to follow, man.
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram at GameDayOJ and on Twitter at GameDayOJ, but with OHJ instead of just the letters OJ.
You're almost wearing the OJ jersey today. That would have been great.
Ooh, that would have been. Maybe I should get one. As long as the money doesn't go to him, I don't know if he gets royalties or how that would work.
He's completely free now.
I know he's completely free. I see his Twitter videos. I feel like he lives on a golf course in a country club.
Yeah.
It's terrifying.
He's living it up.
Some of the videos I've seen.
It is terrifying.
Yeah.
For sure.
Did you see the one where he leans in to kiss the girl and she denies him and everybody was like, check on her welfare, check on her well-being.
Yeah, just make sure she's all right.
Yeah.
Man. OJ. Kevin Anthony, OJ killed Nicole. Look, man, I don't know. I do know, but I don't know.
I feel like everybody knows that.
Yeah.
It's just, we just understand that, he got away with it.
Crazy. It's who has a better arguer. The glove didn't. Remember the glove? The glove didn't fit. Like
you must have quit.
Wow, that was the.
What a great lawyer!
Yes.
What a great lawyer! Because he didn't even just present an argument; he made it catchy. He made it rhyme. Like that is the way to get people behind you. It is now a statement all in itself from a trial. If the glove does not fit, you must have quit.
Like damn,
that is some branding and marketing right there.
The Kardashians' dad who passed away. He was one of the attorneys on that whole. There was a whole team of them, but he was on there, man. Interesting.
And they say that's Khloe's dad.
Huh?
They say OJ is like Khloe's dad.
It's OJ's dad. Like, look, come on.
OJ's the father.
I think so.
You said it.
I said I think so.
I think so also.
Would you have OJ on your show?
Oh, hell yes. Because while I think he's a bad person, I think he did it. I also am a sucker for content. And that is content that writes itself. I root for chaos. I root for content. OJ is content. I would love to get him on the show.
I think it'd be dope. Man, look, welcome everybody in on Twitter, YouTube, on Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, everybody, man. My man Chewy's over here at the bar. We're over here having a good time, man. Got Rachel Van Aronje here, man. This is it's a lot of fun. Welcome in. Leave your comments. We'll try to get to them as soon as we can. But, man, let's get going on some more stuff. A question for you, and I love having you on the show because you're really, really blunt. All right? So I'm just going to throw it out there. Are the Seahawks done?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. They're going to have their first losing record, I believe, in the 10 years that Russell Wilson has been there. And it makes me sad because I am the biggest Russell Wilson stan on the face of the planet. But, yeah, the team is horrible, and it's not all his fault. But I'll tell you this. I watched a little bit of that game. I caught, like, the second half of that game last night. And then I'm going back over it today, and I'm looking up the box score. I'm looking at Russ's stats. The dude didn't even attempt a rush in the game.
Yeah.
Not an attempt. Not one. Didn't attempt. That tells me I feel like he quit. I feel like he's quit. He's saying, okay, I don't want to get injured. Let me just chill because I don't know if I'm going to be here next year.
Well, I think that's 100% he won't be there. I mean, I think the Steelers, the Broncos, there's a couple other teams that have a lot of interest in Russ. But, yeah, to your point, a lot of people don't agree with this, but Russell Wilson has always been the third option on the Seattle Seahawks, especially in a Pete Carroll run team, right? You've got defense first, running the ball second. Russell Wilson. And he got lucky that he got Russell Wilson, or else he would have been fired a long time ago. Yeah. Like, for sure. But his defense has always been what created the Seattle Seahawks, the Legion of Doom. Right. And then you had Marshawn Lynch, and that running attack. And now you just have Russell Wilson by himself. Even though Russell's got some incredible wide receivers, it's like the whole team doesn't fit together anymore because the defense isn't there. Right.
Well, the defense can't get off the field to save their life. The team's offensive line is not good. They cannot run the ball. And now Russell Wilson ain't even trying to run the ball. So it's a train wreck. And I got to tell you this. I was listening to somebody today on ESPN Talk, and they were talking about, the teams that could possibly be interested in Russell Wilson. And I'm just sitting here thinking, buyer beware. Because if this is the first time that Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson have really struggled in a season, and you already want out, like, buyer beware, you know what I mean? Like, that kind of scares me a little bit if I'm a potential team that's interested in you, i.e. the Saints, i.e. the Broncos, i.e. everybody who doesn't have a top 5 quarterback in the league.
Yeah, I mean, is Russell Wilson still living off of those 2 or 3 years? Now, granted, if you go back to the first 7 games of last year, he was almost MVP candidate.
Yeah, I thought he was.
And then he just he fell off. It was crazy. So, I'm not exactly sure what the whole situation is, but it just looks like the Seahawks, they look like completely different. They look lost. And even though Russell Wilson's running around, he's actually not running the football like you said. Right. No,
he might run for his life, but he's not running the football, and they need to get back to that, especially if they can't. If your only success in the run game is versus the Texans with Rashard Penny, that's not saying much. No. So still stick to what works. Yeah. Russ, cook. I've been waiting for Russ to cook ever since he got injured, since he got the pin in his hand. He ain't looked the same.
I think he's done there. Kevin Anthony brings up a good point. He said Wilson to the Saints. That's another great team that he could possibly go. That team does kind of mimic the old school Seahawks with their defense. Right, and incredible head coach that's based around defense and a run game, stuff like that. So that's good landing spot. Be a good offseason for us to sit here and watch. There's Aaron Rodgers, where he's he go? If he goes to Pittsburgh, I can't imagine that, man. Wow. A lot of people are saying Denver now.
Denver makes sense. I don't know if he wants to go play for a defensive-minded head coach. Does he?
I'm sure they would change their philosophy. Aaron Rodgers.
Cortland Sutton got paid and fell off a cliff. Yeah. I know, because I had him in fantasy. Like, he's not. I don't really know what's so attractive about being in the same division as the Chargers and the Chiefs, but I digress. Yeah. Like, whatever.
I mean, look, the Chiefs will get. I mean, they're slowly the best team in the league, record-wise. They came all the way back. It's absolutely unbelievable where the Chiefs stand now from where they started. They were 1-4 at one point. They are 10-4 now. Well, they weren't 1-4. Sorry, they're 10-4 now. And obviously AFC West, the Chargers still have a chance at 8-6, but I doubt they're going to get there. I don't think they've played that many of good teams, so I'm not jumping on the Chiefs bandwagon right now. I'm not. I still think that they're beatable, really beatable. I love the New England Patriots. I even like the Miami Dolphins right now, but nobody out of the AFC North. Cincinnati, Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, they're gone.
You're out on all of them?
I'm out on every one of them. I just have no faith in Ben. Joe Burrow's been suspect. I think he's got an injury he's hiding. And then Cleveland with Baker Mayfield, no thank you. Yeah. And then Baltimore's hurt, and Lamar's not going to win.
Yeah, no, that's true. And even if Lamar was healthy, I don't know how much I trust them, especially in the playoffs. I think the shtick is great for fantasy football, and it's great in the regular season. But whenever it comes to playoff time, it's just everything's turned up a level, and you need somebody that can really make those throws from the pocket, which I'm not sold on Lamar in that department.
He's not the best quarterback out there, that's for sure.
He's the most athletic. He's not the best. You know what I mean? And that'll win you some games, but I just feel like once you get to the playoffs, it's a different game.
Yeah, pocket passers,
win
generally speaking, always come out ahead.
High five me on this. I have argued with Sean Salisbury on this. I've argued with multiple people on this. Yes, pocket passing quarterback wins the ring. And people go, "Oh, what about Russell Wilson when he won it?" He was also a passing quarterback that only ran when he had to. He was not somebody that relied on his legs as a crutch. It was a bonus. It was a privilege.
Yeah,
it wasn't.
You had Marshawn Lynch, and you had that defense. Whenever you have a running back like that, the play action opens up so much for you. So it's ridiculous when you have a running back. Most play action passers and a little bit of mobile quarterbacks have incredible running backs behind that allow them to do stuff like that. Ryan Tannehill is a really rich man because he's had Derrick Henry in front of him or behind him for a long time. But point. The injuries that just happened, let's just flip over real quick to the injuries that just happened in Tampa Bay while we're on quarterbacks and what's going on. Tampa Bay just got decimated. In one game, all 4 of their major players are hurt.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not a good look.
Godwin gone for the year. Fournette, hamstring, gone for a while.
Yeah.
Mike Evans, don't know if he's playing the next couple games. Mm-hmm. Oh, ouch. That's rough. That is rough for Tampa, and they're 10-4, and 10-4. Arizona's 10-4. Los Angeles Rams are now 10-4. Tampa Bay Buccaneers are 10-4. Green Bay Packers 11-3. That home field advantage, and the Dallas Cowboys 10-4. I know Kevin wants to hear that, but the home field advantage in the NFC is massive.
Yeah, no, it's a really big deal, and you can take no games off, no days off, none of that. But I want to say. The next game, I expect Tom Brady. Who do the Bucs play next? I expect them to come out and win that game handedly. I don't even know who they play.
Tampa Bay will play the Panthers. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So that's in the bag. Who do they play after that?
Jets. And then Panthers again. So
in the bag. They will be fine. Hopefully, they have a little bit of time to kind of if everything turns out right, get a first round bye, and then get the healthy key players back that you need. I feel like if anybody can do it, it's Tom Brady. You know what I mean? They will make a game plan work.
Yeah, he always has. If there's somebody that comes through adversity or can make anything work, like you said, it's usually Tom. That's what makes him great. They'll sign some no name out of nowhere, right? And this guy will end up winning the Super Bowl for
right. You know who is coming back is Antonio Brown for sure. He'll be back.
That's where I was going.
He will be back. But who's the little white guy that used to just catch some deep lobs downfield last year? You know what I'm talking about? Little speedy guy.
He's had a couple of them.
Yeah, I don't know. It's with the Bucs. He came out of kind of nowhere. Nobody really knew who he was, and then Tom Brady.
Oh, Miller. Miller. That just he won the Green Bay game for him. I think it was Sean. I forgot. Stephen Miller. I forgot. Remember at halftime of the AFC Championship game, he just sprinted down the field at the last. It was at halftime. Tom Brady just threw up a Hail Mary to him, and they scored right at halftime. Really hurt the Packers during that game. Yes. So speaking of the Packers, Aaron Rodgers. We're talking about Tom Brady and Tampa Bay being hurt. Does this pave the way to where basically the MVP race is over? Is it Aaron Rodgers now?
I don't know. I feel like Jonathan Taylor kind of had his MVP moment in primetime the other night, sealing the deal on.
Oh yeah, that 64-yard run at the end of the game. Thank God I was in the. Oh, that put me in the playoffs.
Yeah,
in fantasy.
There might be a little bit of fatigue with the old guard that has always been in the mix. Maybe get somebody new in there. But I know that up until a couple weeks ago, I said this on my radio show, and I saw people saying on TV. It was a shame that you feel like Jonathan Taylor's not a household name.
Yeah. He's
to the casual fan, not a Colts fan and not people like us that are obsessed with it. But he's not, up until very recently, he's not really been a household name, and he should have been. He's really, really good, and he had a great, just sealed the deal on, who were they playing, the Patriots? It was the Patriots, right?
Let's see. They play, the Patriots, 27-17.
Right, yeah. He sealed the deal at the very end of the game, had that long run. I think he ran for close to 200 yards in that game in prime time.
160, I think. On the season, he's 1,518, 270 carries with 17 touchdowns.
Yeah, no,
That's
he's
fantastic.
insane. He's had a touchdown a game, I think, the entire season, going back into last season. And so, yeah, I mean, he could definitely be in the mix. But other than that, Tom Brady getting shut out by the Saints, absolutely. That X'd him out of that race. So it's probably, Aaron Rodgers is always going to be a name that is mentioned up there. And who knows? It is kind of a popularity contest, so we'll see.
Yeah, I believe so. That's why Tom might still get some votes. But him missing, I thought Leonard Fournette was having this unbelievable resurrecting year for him. He was taking a lot of pressure off of Tom. A lot of pressure. In that one, he had 4 touchdowns in one game.
Right.
Basically won that game. He was doing a lot of dump passes to Fournette, which was great for Tom. And they just signed Le'Veon Bell, which, I don't think he's going to be good. He's wanting to fight Jake Paul or something.
Lord. I didn't even hear about that.
Yeah. So I think Jake Paul said something about something, and Le'Veon Bell hit him back on Twitter like, you fought nobody because he knocked out Woodley, and then of course Jake Paul's like, come fight me, whatever. Anyways,
money. Ding, ding, ding.
But I don't know if Le'Veon Bell's going to be as productive as Leonard Fournette was for Tampa Bay, and losing Chris Godwin, who the last 5-6 games was Brady's main target.
Right.
Now, I get it, Antonio Brown can step in and fill some of those voids, but I think Fournette was the biggest loss. I don't know if Le'Veon's going to be able to cover that whole yardage that Fournette was putting up. But, we'll see.
Ronald Jones season?
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, maybe.
Maybe. He hasn't proven himself. I thought he was going to be really good. He just hasn't. He hasn't done much.
Yeah.
And you've got you've got Green Bay sitting at 11-3. They've already clinched their playoff spot. I think they win this week and they clinch home field advantage. I think. But Aaron Rodgers with the 11-3 record. You were mentioning Jonathan Taylor in that MVP vote. They're only 8-6, and I think that's what wavers. And Jonathan Taylor didn't take off until week 4 or 5, when he really started. And I think he was the first running back since LaDainian Tomlinson to score in 10 straight games.
Yeah,
and that's a hell of a. LT was unbelievable. So if you're up there with him. He's got he's incredible. And the Titans are sitting at 9-5 despite losing Derrick Henry. Now, if Derrick Henry comes back for the playoffs, which is in the cards, watch out.
For sure. Like, how much Derrick Henry are we getting, though?
Yeah.
But even Derrick Henry at 80% is great, and just having him on the field, switches up the way a defense is going to view you. It kind of feels like, though, no matter what the Titans do, like, they can just run the ball no matter what. They can't pass block for anything, but they can. That line can certainly run the ball. I mean, we've seen a bunch of no names come in and get some big stats, at least in fantasy, for them. But
I snuck in my fantasy, my second league, the big one. In the last 3 weeks, I've needed to win every game, and I needed the 7, 8, and 9 guys to lose every game.
And you got lucky.
And I did. Well, no, and I needed the fifth place guy to lose, and he kept losing, and I kept winning. And I got in. I had the same record, but I had the most points. So I snuck in. I could not believe it. I barely snuck in 6th place out of a 12-team league, and I had the most points out of anybody. And I'm still in 6th. Like every team that I've played has just had their go off year on me. And I have Jonathan Taylor, which has saved my ass.
That's very nice.
Taylor's amazing. I got him in both of my leagues.
Yeah, I just lost to a dude with Taysom Hill as his damn quarterback.
Oh, ouch.
Yeah, I'm toast. I'm done. And I have Cooper Kupp and Matthew Stafford.
Oh.
And I still lost to a dude with Taysom Hill. Like, I'm losing my mind. I cannot believe, like, I was the heavy favorite to win this week, and everything, just a bunch of 2s and 3-point scores on my whole team. I was like, I'm done.
Man, look, welcome in Rachel Von Aranje. She's hosting with me today on Sports with Balls. Thank you guys for watching. Man, an incredible I say incredible week for football. We're still sticking with the NFL for a little bit with all the games. I love this Tuesday game. I wonder if they could make, like, having a Tuesday night game.
Oh, just having one. Yeah, I wish. Didn't we have a couple during Rona season last year? We had a couple.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. I would be okay with having football, like, 4 nights a week.
Yeah.
Can we do that?
It's like if you played on the Tuesday game, then you don't play till the Monday following, or maybe, I don't know. They'd have to figure it out. But
they could figure it out.
I'm sure they could. A Tuesday night game, it was awesome. We had a doubleheader. Now, what pissed me off is they had the games at the same time.
Yeah, why did they do that?
And we were in Houston, and we were subject to watching Washington-Philadelphia.
Oh,
which was
really?
A good football game,
Yeah.
but I wanted to see the Rams.
Yeah, no, I caught the score, but I was more interested in the Rams-Seahawks game for some reason, even though it was like 0-3 at halftime or 3-3 at halftime. For some reason, I was still more interested in that than DC-Philly. But yeah, I saw DC was up 10-0 at one point.
Yep.
And then Jalen Hurts' season came back on him. Now let me ask you this: this is the talk of the East today. Jalen Hurts, future or nah?
No, I don't think so. I like Jalen Hurts. I don't love him. I don't think he's your franchise quarterback because he scrambles a lot. He's the same size as like Kyler Murray.
Yeah. He ain't that little.
He's tiny. He might be a little bit bigger, but scrambling quarterbacks like that get hurt.
Yeah.
And he's already gotten hurt this year.
Yeah, that's true.
So man, I'll go back to pocket passers, man. Like, running the ball and having a pocket passer, Tom Brady-ish. Even though Mahomes runs around and does these wild things, he's still a decent pocket passer, and that's
sure.
kept him going to the Super Bowl. Jalen Hurts, man, I don't know. He's gonna be somebody's quarterback. The Houston Texans were gonna trade for him. Deshaun Watson, and obviously they were going to get a bunch of picks. I don't know how I would feel if you're a Houston Texan fan about Jalen Hurts being your franchise quarterback. I don't see him as a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, no, I don't see Tua Tagovailoa as that either. You know what I mean? So all these Alabama quarterbacks.
Tua has put up some great numbers over the past 6-7 games, though.
Yeah.
That win streak that they're on 7 games.
Is it 7 now?
7 games.
Okay.
They lost 7, and now they've won 7.
Man.
Like 7 in a row. That's crazy.
Nobody's talking about them, though.
No. Well, I wouldn't expect them to. Even though they're a great team, great defense, there's what I call the Fab Five, and I've said it all year. As far as your who could win the Super Bowl, you only have your 5 teams. I'll throw New England Patriots in there now. Because I really do think with Mac Jones, they could win. But they're at the bottom. But your Fab Five are Green Bay, Tampa Bay, Arizona, Los Angeles, and Dallas. And then, like I said, I'll throw the New England Patriots in there.
You just watched Mac Jones win a game that he only had to complete two passes in. And then in the next game, I don't believe he threw for much either versus the Colts. Like, you really feel like they are an actual contender. Like, they're a contender for the playoffs, in my opinion. They're not going to make no deep playoff run or contend for a ring, not this year. They ran off. They beat the Texans, lost to the Cowboys in an overtime game. It was amazing. And then after that, they beat the Jets, the Chargers, the Panthers, the Browns, the Falcons, the Titans, the Bills, and then they lost to the Colts. I think they were worn out at this point. But they got 3 games left. Bills, that's going to be a tough one, which I'll have to look. We'll go over the schedule in a minute. Bills, and then they had the Jaguars, which is a layup, and then they're at the Dolphins to end the season. So I like the New England Patriots, obviously in the playoffs. I don't know about winning the Super Bowl, but I do think that they could upset some other people. Who are they upsetting? I gotta see this. Who are they upsetting? Like, what? Maybe the Bills again in another snow bowl?
Oh, dude, the Bills, man. Like, if they lose again and don't make it to the Super Bowl, like, whew.
Yeah, what a fall from grace, especially compared to last year. They just all over the place. Man, they have not looked the same. And I know that we talked about it the last time I was on the show where you were really high on the Bills' defense and I wasn't.
Man, no, they have fallen off the radar.
Yeah, they can't stop the run at all, and that's been their Achilles heel for a couple years now. Is they're kind of soft in the middle. They can't stop the run, and it's rearing its ugly head again. So
the AFC, I mean, you've got all the way down to 13 is the Denver Broncos, all right? And then after that, it's Jets, Texans, Jaguars. There's 3 wins, 2 wins. Mm-hmm. All the way down to 13, the Denver Broncos are 7-7. So the playoff race in the AFC is unreal. Like, it's unbelievable. 1, 2, 3, 4 teams at 7-7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams at 8-6. 10-4 Kansas City Chiefs. 9-5 Patriots and Titans. Wow. You know, all those teams, I will say this, that all those teams are all about even.
Yeah.
I mean, all of them. If you were to put Cincinnati versus the Chargers, it's not going to be a big spread. You put Buffalo versus Tennessee, not going to be a big spread.
Yeah.
Miami versus Tennessee, probably not going to be that big of a spread. I mean, anybody can win the AFC out of those. I'm not really going to rule out that Kansas City can't get beat by Miami either. Kansas City has had rough days, really rough football days, and I don't think that they are. Kevin Anthony, oh my goodness, Cowboys are about to start hitting guys in the mouth. Okay, let me ask you this: if the Cowboys don't make the Super Bowl, what's your excuse? What's your excuse this year?
Mike McCarthy, I guess that'll be the scapegoat. Watch, Please promote Dan Quinn. Please promote him, Dallas. Please do that. I will love that. Do it. Like, the content will just write itself. It'll be fantastic. You guys can embrace the suck. He literally said that as the Falcons head coach. Just saying.
Yeah, you and Dan Quinn have a love or a hate relationship.
Yes.
I guess.
Can't stand him. Can't stand him.
If y'all didn't know, Rachel is a massive Atlanta fan. So Kevin Anthony said Dak will be the excuse. And look, all of the drama will fall on Dak.
Of course.
All of the responsibility, everything will. He is not only the quarterback of that team, but he's the most outspoken. Even Ezekiel Elliott now has learned to keep his mouth shut.
Yeah.
And Mike McCarthy didn't say a word. Like, all the press conferences, it's all Dak Prescott.
Yeah.
He's talking. He
is the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. He goes to the press conferences in cowboy hats. Like, he is the brand. He is the star. And, yeah, with almost every quarterback in the league, unless you're just a nobody and nobody expects good things of you, when you're a dude that has been in the MVP conversation and we've seen what you're capable of doing, and the expectations are set really high, and it's not for some team like my Atlanta Falcons, this is the Dallas Cowboys. Yeah, every time you win, it's going to go on you. Every time you lose, it's going to go on you, and that's why you get paid the big bucks.
I'm dead honest. I don't think that the Cowboys have what it takes to win the Super Bowl. And I think it's because of their running game. Dak Prescott cannot throw the ball 40 times and expect to win a football game. He won't. Like, it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
They got to run the football, and it just if Tony Pollard, who's banged up right now, is hurt, Ezekiel Elliott's only like getting 40, 50, 60 yards a game.
Yeah.
It just, he just doesn't look motivated on the sideline. They don't look exciting. Or excited. It sort of looks CeeDee Lamb's back to dropping balls. I don't know. The Cowboys don't strike me as like, wow, man, they're out. They don't look like the Green Bay Packers or the Arizona Cardinals. Even though Arizona getting beat by Detroit was I got
Vegas made that call. Vegas made the
they
money
needed
back.
some money.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
That
dude.
was shocking, and it's weird because I heard quite a few people saying take Detroit to cover, and I'm like, you're insane. You're
Detroit actually covering spreads this year has been really good.
They've been good, right?
They've been good at covering. Now they haven't won a lot of
Except
games.
when I pick them.
Yeah, but they've been good at covering the spread. But this was unbelievable.
No, I had Arizona's defense in fantasy football.
Yeah, me too.
This is my playoff round. And I'm thinking, oh, yeah, they're going to get at least 20 points, right? Because they've been putting up points all year for fantasy.
Yep.
I'm like, oh, Detroit finna eat, finna feast. No, I think 2 points.
It was terrible.
Terrible.
It was so hard to watch that game because you're like, they've got to get something going, right? And they just never, ever could get anything going. It was so hard to watch. So now you've got Green Bay 11-3. Then you got 4 teams out of that Fab Five: Dallas, Tampa Bay, Arizona, and LA, all at 10-4. And so
That's a lot.
The playoffs in the NFC are going to be amazing.
Yeah, I'm so happy.
Amazing.
I've heard quite a few people say that they're not as into the NFL this season as opposed to years prior, and I'm like, why? There's more parity in the league than we've ever seen.
Yeah.
I love it. It's great, but there's a bunch of losers out there that don't appreciate it. I don't understand.
The parity, especially, that goes back to what I was saying about the AFC going all the way down to the 13th seed Denver Broncos right now at 7-7. They have just as much shot as the Cincinnati Bengals at 8-6, and they're number 4. So between 4 and 13, there's only a 1-game difference.
Dang, even the Raiders are in there.
Yeah, everybody's up there.
A 7-7 Raiders team. Wow, they can upset.
Yeah,
I know that they're kind of a joke and the laughingstock of the season, and they've had a lot of things go wrong. But I feel like that you just never know when the Raiders are going to show up and do Derek Carr do something crazy. Yeah.
I think if Darren Waller was healthy all season, he's been out the last few games.
Yeah.
That
he makes a difference.
Yeah, I think Oakland would probably have at least one more win, and he does make a difference in a lot of those games.
Hunter Renfro's nice, though.
Yeah,
He's
Hunter
really
Renfro's lately
up.
he's been off the chain lately.
Yep.
Really, really good, man. But listen, Kevin Andy says there's a bachelorette party up there tonight. There's definitely some toasty women up here. That is for sure, man.
I think it's a birthday.
Yeah, thank y'all for tuning in to Sports with Balls, man. We've had a blast so far. We got about 10 more minutes. We were going over some COVID stuff earlier, getting into this NFL. We touched earlier how Texas A&M has now canceled they will not play in the Gator Bowl now. Extremely interesting, and we touched on the NBA and their COVID protocols, the Seahawks, AFC, NFC standings. I mentioned earlier Michigan Wolverines all getting their booster shots. What's your take on how these playoffs are gonna? I guess how they're gonna unfold, I should say.
I think it's still gonna be. I think it's pretty predictable. I mean, Cincinnati's not gonna be there.
No,
I'm sorry. No. I'm sorry, y'all. I root for the AAC, University of Houston alumni here. Like, great, but you're not doing anything. And then we have Georgia. I think they're going to win their game. I don't think booster shots or not. I don't think it's going to help Michigan. I don't trust that Harbaugh brother and his Michigan team in really, really big games. I just haven't seen it in a long time, especially in football. So I think it's going to end up Georgia-Bama again, and then I think Bama still wins, and that pains me to say because I like the Dogs.
Georgia right now in that Michigan game, 6:30 p.m. on.
They don't have the quarterback play.
Friday, December 31st. It's a 7.5 point spread. Georgia minus 7.5.
Yeah, I would if I was a betting woman, and I am.
Yeah, if I was,
I would take Alabama to cover because even if Georgia wins, and I really hope that they do, go Dogs. But even if they win, I still think it's gonna be closer than that. Be a 3-point game or so. But Alabama's quarterback play is dynamic. And I think that whenever it comes to big games like this, and I just feel like that's what wins. You know what I mean?
If you didn't think that Cincinnati had a chance before this or didn't have a chance before this, Cincinnati and Alabama game is the afternoon game. Georgia-Michigan is the primetime game.
Yeah.
So they're, literally giving Cincinnati no shot because they know that's not going to be a must-watch game. The line is 13.5. I'm Alabama all day.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, they might win by 28.
Alabama is not. They may have, had an ugly game against A&M this season. They may have got pushed into overtime. What was it versus Auburn? But this type of game, Nick Saban is not. He's going to have everybody fully prepared.
Oh, yeah.
There is no mistakes that will be made. He is literally the Bill Belichick of college football. Like, it's not going to happen.
You got Bryce Young, 4,322 yards and 43 touchdowns.
Ugh.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and I've seen some of Cincinnati's games, and I've seen some of the teams that they'll let score 20, 30 points on them. Like a Tulsa. Like, you're insane if you think that there is a chance that Alabama doesn't cover this. It's going to happen. The more interesting game, obviously, is going to be Georgia-Michigan, and I think Georgia wins because Georgia's defense, while if they have a weakness, it's probably the secondary. Michigan is a team that's built to run the ball, which is exactly what Georgia can stand up against. What is the spread? You said 7?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
7.5. I'm taking Alabama and Georgia.
Yeah, I would too.
I think that Michigan could keep the game close in the first half.
Okay.
But I think after that, Georgia takes off. There might be a little rust at the very beginning. In both these games, there could be a little rust. Like Cincinnati might score an early touchdown, but that's going to be about it. That's going to be about it. I don't think Cincinnati, and like you said, God bless them. God bless them for getting in the playoffs and making history and rooting for the small schools, or at least not, the big ones like Alabama and Georgia and them. But, dude, they have no shot.
No shot at all.
No shot.
And I wish they did, because then it would make the committee just look stupid. But this is going to be a moment for the committee to be like, see why we never let you in? See why? Like, this is the one. This is the one time, and this is what they're going to hang their hats on, and it sucks. But it's okay. My school's going to the Big 12, I guess, so.
Yeah, well, look, tomorrow night you get 49ers at Titans in a really good football game. I'm kind of excited to watch this one. San Francisco -3. This is in Tennessee, in Nashville. What's your thought? Where are you going with this one?
Which one? Tell me again. I'm sorry.
49ers at Titans. San Francisco's -3. It's in Nashville. And this should be – the over-under is 44. This is a interesting football game because it has all sorts of playoff implications. So this is basically a playoff game in week 15.
Yeah,
16.
If I was going to bet, and I may end up betting on it, this is a game that I think the 49ers win. Jimmy Garoppolo, say what you want about his skill set, but the dude just wins. Shanahan, obviously a very good coach. I just think that's a team that has become very well-rounded, and I trust them a little bit more than I would ever trust the Titans. Titans defense is still hot garbage. I thought for a minute there in the middle of the season that they had got it together, but they're not. They haven't. Derrick Henry's not there. And who really trusts Ryan Tannehill to get it done in a big game by himself? Like, I just don't. Is Julio Jones even playing in the game?
No, he's out.
Right. So I don't know what there is. I mean, other than home field advantage, like, that's nice, but it's not nice enough in this game. I think the 49ers are going to handle it. And I think they're a team that is built – the way that they're built, I think that they can travel well. You know what I mean? So yeah. I don't think being, down south is going to bother them at all.
They're definitely a hit-you-in-the-mouth team.
Yeah.
They ground and pound, and that's what they do. That's their thing. Just 2 more games before we get out of here. Browns and Packers, 3:30 on Saturday. We have Saturday football this from now on, basically. So Browns and Packers, Colts, Cardinals. First, we'll hit on the Browns and Packers. Green Bay, it's in Green Bay, -7.5. I like that line. The Browns just aren't a good football team.
No, they're not a good football team, and their defense is not good. They have good players, but they have never figured out a way to gel. Aaron Rodgers is going to have a field day with them, especially at home.
Yeah, at home, 7.5 points. Over-under is 45.5. Aaron Rodgers, 3,500 yards on the season with 30 touchdowns. I mean, MVP type year. Next one, Colts at the Cardinals. This is a tricky game. We just mentioned Arizona losing to Detroit, the worst team, the best team in the NFL aside from Green Bay, losing to the worst team in the NFL. It was crazy. They're only a 1 point. It's -1. Arizona -1, and the Colts. This is a tricky football game. I want to say Colts. I love Jonathan Taylor and what they're doing. I just don't see Arizona losing 2 games in a row, especially not at home.
You know what? I've been to University of Phoenix Stadium, assuming that's what they still call it. That's not the world's greatest home field advantage, to be honest with you. I would take the Colts +1 in this game for sure. I wouldn't touch the point total at all. But I think Carson Wentz, when he's healthy, I like him better as a quarterback than I do Kyler Murray, especially without a DeAndre Hopkins. There's a reason literally nobody has been sold on the Cardinals all year. It didn't matter how many games they win. It's like, okay, they're cute, they're nice, but at the end of the day, I don't think that they're a contender, even whenever they were undefeated. So I'm going with Colts. I think this matters more to them. I think it means more.
The Colts, to me, are a better, well-rounded team.
Yes.
It's hard for the Arizona to lose 2 in a row, like I said, especially at home. But I agree with you on Arizona. They've got holes, and Murray, it just did. Their defense was the one that was going to get them to the Super Bowl. Right. Their defense was fantastic. Then they lose JJ and a couple other guys, and now their defense is very susceptible to everything, not just the pass. And they can't get the pass rush like they want anymore because Watt being gone. But, interesting games on Saturday, man. Look, we're going to get out of here. We want to thank everybody for watching. Thank you all for tuning in. We will be back tomorrow night. I'll be with Lauren tomorrow night, so you guys tune in at 6 p.m. Rachel, where can everybody find you? And thank you again.
At GameDayOJ on Twitter. That's OHJ. At GameDayOJ on Instagram. Just the letters OJ.
All right, y'all. Thank y'all for watching and paying attention. We'll see you tomorrow night, 6 p.m., man. This is Sports with Balls. I'm out.